Good morning and welcome back to the Gratitude Incarnate podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Rose, and this is the Daily Divine Download. So if you're new to the podcast, Daily Divine Download is usually a quick episode that I release on a daily basis. It's just where I, channel a message from divine source, God, the universe, the powers that be, however you identify that. And today, I'm bringing you a very personal message. And, that's kind of what this podcast is all about. It's always been about that, my personal journey. Everyone is connected. Everything is connected, spiritually and scientifically. And we've talked about that in a previous podcast. And, excuse me, sometimes on this journey, especially when we're talking about gratitude, when we're talking about positivity, high vibes, love, a lot of people think that once you start incorporating these techniques, that all of a sudden you're just this positive person all the time and nothing ever goes wrong in your life. And I don't really think that things go quote unquote wrong in our lives, but I do believe that things happen for us. And sometimes in the moment, we don't really feel like it's happening for us. We feel like it's happening to us. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about today is like the things that we go through in our daily lives and, how they don't always really feel good, Last night, I felt like I was really disrespected in my own personal space, and not just by one person, but by two people. And, I could have just sat around feeling sorry for myself, and I think that's what a lot of people tend to do in those situations. You just kind of stew in your madness and your anger, and a lot of times your resentment. And the reason why we feel resentment is because we're not being authentic to ourselves by speaking our truth. And that is what I did last night. To the person I felt was disrespecting me, I let them know exactly why I felt that way. And I communicated clearly. I did not react. I just responded from my authentic self, from a place of love with honesty. Okay. And I was really proud of myself in that moment for being able to respond that way. And I have a lot of gratitude when I think back to the past and similar situations where I reacted negatively instead of responding with love. So, when I woke up this morning, I was still kind of feeling that feeling, and I was like, let's dive into this a little bit deeper. Oh, okay. Well, I feel like I was kind of disrespected by two people because, one of the people is a parent of the other person. And I feel like in that moment, that was a parent's responsibility to kind of explain what was going on to the child and, work with me on that in a teaching moment from a place of love. And that didn't happen. So I wanted to talk to that person about that this morning, but I didn't really personally feel like that was the type of information I would want to receive first thing in the morning. So I decided that, I was just going to work through that. And I had decided and I got really clear on the message that I wanted to give to this person about what had happened from my point of view, from my perspective, and hold space for them, for their perspective. Because sometimes when we just jump into something to confront something, we're not really giving ourselves the space to process, and we're also not allowing others to have the space to process because we're just so into just jabbing with our words to just get our point across so we can be understood. And that's what this whole thing is about. When these things come up, it's a chance for you to understand yourself and to allow others to understand you as well and to understand them. So I wanted to give some space for that, but this person is very close to me and they're very good at reading when I'm kind of upset about something or when I'm working through something, because that's what I was doing. I wasn't just stewing, I was giving myself healthy distractions and going through my morning routine and just, like I said, just giving space for that, to handle that later from a place of love, So, like I said, the person, they knew that I had something that I wasn't ready to talk about yet. So we decided to go ahead and talk about it. And, I was able again to express myself from a place of love and authenticity. And that's what I want to talk to you about, is like, not just that, but like having gratitude through that process. Throughout that whole process, you can have gratitude because, like I said, you can be grateful for how far you've come. You can have gratitude for these people who were in your life, because obviously if something upset you, that means you care about those people, okay? Because if they were people that you didn't care about, what they said and did, it wouldn't bother you. It wouldn't affect you, in that way, mentally and emotionally. So we can have gratitude for that. We can have gratitude to get to go through these experiences together. These are two people that I love and care about a lot. And just because things come up doesn't mean that has to be the end of the relationship. People get to decide when they want space. They get to decide when they want to end a relationship, start a relationship, and we have to allow others to have their experience their way. That's their right. That's the abundance that you're born with, is this freedom to get to choose. So we can have gratitude for that. We can have gratitude for being authentic to ourselves. We can have gratitude for speaking our truth. And we can have gratitude that we don't have to go on holding these feelings inside of us. That's our power. Our emotions are our power. Our feelings, that is what gives us strength and energy. And it can also drain your energy when you're not being authentic to yourself, okay? When you're not speaking your piece, when you're letting these things build up and you're repressing them, that takes your energy away, okay? So throughout this whole experience, we can learn that we can have gratitude for all of this. And that's what I want to share with you today. As things come up that don't necessarily feel comfortable, maybe, you felt disrespected by somebody. Maybe you feel like, someone close to you doesn't care about you through their actions. Maybe you feel like someone's wronged you in some way. Don't be afraid to dive a little bit deeper into that and really figure out what's going on. That comes from a place of learning. And then once we've learned, we can turn that into actions with our love. When we love these people, like I said, obviously if you're getting upset about something, you care about them. So what we can do is we can learn a little bit more about ourselves, figure out what's going on the inside. Why are you feeling like this? And share that with the person, okay? Share that experience with them so they can understand and get to know more about their experience too. We're not always going to agree on everything, guys. We're not always going to see eye to eye. That's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of this experience that we call life, is that we all get to do it so differently. We're all so unique. And that's another beautiful thing that we can have gratitude for, is that we can share these experiences with the people we love. We can understand that we're not always going to see eye to eye. And sometimes we might say things or do things that people take a different way. But we don't have to assume that they're out to hurt us. We don't have to assume that it's all about us at all. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you. And when we can take a moment to learn and to love, then we can have compassion for others and we can share their experience with them, and maybe we can help them grow, and we can grow in our love too. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. I want to thank you all so much for listening every day. It really means so much to me. You're not just showing up for me to listen to this podcast. You're really showing up for yourself, and you're doing the important work on yourself, and you're making yourself better and better every single day. You can have gratitude through every single moment, and I'm so grateful for you listening, and I want you to have a grateful day.